You're listening to the WWNO Classical Network. Hi, this is Paul Mawson. Each week, we take a couple of minutes, we check in with Dave Walker, find out what's going on in the museum scene. Dave is host of the Museumgoer.com. Dave, welcome back.
Hello, Paul.
All right, how are things shaping up for this week?
Well, the Ogden Museum of Southern Art has two exhibits, Herman Leonard, Images of Jazz, and Focus, Noel Rockmore, closing Sunday. So last chance on those two. Leonard was among the preeminent photographers of jazz figures in the 20th and 21st centuries, living and working in New York, Paris, and New Orleans from 1991 until Hurricane Katrina floodwaters sent him to Los Angeles. Among the musicians featured in the beautiful black and white photographs are Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Dinah Washington, Sonny Stitt, and others. The images from the exhibit come from a self-published portfolio of selenium-toned silver prints donated to the museum by Stacy and Michael Burke. Rockmore, a New York native, visited the French Quarter for the first time in 1959 and made New Orleans his off and on home until his death in 1995. The timing of his arrival here synced with the earliest days of Preservation Hall, and the musicians there became some of his first local muses. He painted hundreds of portraits of the players. In the five Rockmore Preservation Hall paintings in the Ogden exhibit are depictions of Kid Chic, Billy and Dee Dee Pierce, Bill Matthews, and Wilbert Tillman. A full ensemble painting of musicians playing at the hall, borrowed from the Louisiana State Museum, is the centerpiece. More on those at ogdenmuseum.org.
Well, I am prone to exaggeration, but I don't believe I'm exaggerating now. With both sets of portraits, that they are iconic.
They are, and the Ogden will sort of see out the Herman Leonard photos with an event at 6 p.m. Thursday. They're offering a really unique opportunity to add another sense to the experience of viewing the Leonard photographs. It's a culture and cocktails gathering that will feature a vinyl listening session in the gallery space. So there's a chance to connect the images with their art. In other public programs, tonight's 6 p.m. Gallier Gathering, to be conducted for free on Zoom, will feature a discussion with author and historian Andrew M. Wegman on the topic From Cuba to Creole, the LaCroix household and Creole identity in 19th century New Orleans. More at hgghh.org. Another installment of Soul Sip at NOMA takes place at 6 tonight at the New Orleans Museum of Art. The event will feature a seated meditation, then a three-part wine tasting, then a walking tour of the museum's wine-related holdings. More at noma.org. The Friends of the Cabildo's second Thursday lecture will take place virtually at 6 p.m. Yes, on Thursday. The guest this time is author Lauren Nicole Hendry, who will discuss her book, Inquisition for Blood, the making of a female black serial killer in the Jim Crow South. More at friendsofthecabildo.org. And at 6:30 Thursday, a dinner with a curator event at the National World War II Museum will pursue the theme Press Start, World War II in Video Games. More at nationalww2museum.org. And here's the usual warning. Museum public events often have limited capacity. In fact, several I mentioned today fit that description. So zip to the URLs ASAP and check for availability, and then reserve if you've been sufficiently called to action.
If they gave a World Cup for museum information, this would have been a winner today.
Go!
If you'd like any information on the things we've talked about, check out Dave's website at themuseumgoer.com. Dave, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Paul. See you then.